Hi, my name is Nicole Provine, and I'm going to be talking about how we as early childhood educators can demonstrate cultural responsiveness across cultures in an early childhood setting. Throughout this quarter, I have been researching online and observed the lead teacher in my practicum doing it in her home daycare. I read an education journal on making sense of childcare instability among families with low incomes, undesired and unplanned reasons for changing childcare arrangements. I picked this one because there was a couple kids in Karen's daycare that were in low-income families, and I wanted to learn how we could be culturally responsive to them and their needs. Here is something that I picked out. Because parents of color and immigrant parents are disproportionately likely to work in low wage and low quality jobs, and workers of color in the service sector are more likely to experience precarious work schedules, we would expect them to be at particular risk for work-driven childcare changes. So from my perspective, there needs to be childcare options that are affordable in childcare deserts where these immigrant and color families live, that are willing to have employees there potentially overnight to accommodate families' ever-changing needs. That's hard, but if you have enough families with the same needs, then those needs need to be met. In another research that I did on a blog on brightwheel.com, there was an expansive list of things that educators could do to be culturally responsive and have high expectations for all children, building a bridge between home and school practices, identifying and leveraging children's strengths and engaging children's knowledge and practices, experiences, and perspectives. I watched the lead teacher do all of these things. She had high expectations for all children. She expects them to all be kind to each other, and that when they know something is wrong, they do not do it. For instance, drawing a marker on your younger sibling, even when they ask you to do it. She builds a bridge between the practices at home and the practices at school. For instance, at home, there was a 1-year-old that at bedtime she would take a comfort item and go to sleep by herself. When Karen heard this, she immediately implemented this at nap time, and it worked out great. She identifies the strengths in the children and leverages them. There were 2 kids, 4 and 5. One could swing by themselves and the other couldn't, but wanted to learn. And after a couple days of Karen working with the one that wanted to learn, she asked the one that could swing to teach the one that couldn't how to swing. And within 15 to 20 minutes, the one that couldn't swing had learned how to swing. So that was great. And then she engages the children's knowledge and practices, experience, and perspectives. When the class was reading a book about taking the city bus, one of the kids commented that they took the city bus with their parents because they didn't have a car. Karen asked the child questions about taking the bus and their knowledge and experiences with it. One thing I thought that was interesting was the kid commented that they liked taking the bus more than riding in the car with their parent because when their parent was driving a car, they couldn't give them as much attention because they were focused on driving. But when the child takes the bus with the parent, they can give them a lot of attention and time because they're not having to focus on driving the car as well as the child. And that's about it. These are just some ways that teachers can demonstrate cultural competence and responsiveness. Thank you.